Hey everybody, welcome in. Happy Feel Good Friday to you. I hope you are having a wonderful day so far. Sorry, checking my messages from So it did sell out. That was that my team was having a conversation about something that sold out already, which is fantastic. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. But just want to say hey to everybody. I hope you're having a good one. Hi, Danette. Hi, Pat. Bonnie's here. Lois is here. Miss Cindy, Sandy, Renee, Anita. It is so good to see everybody. Hazel is here. Laurie. How is everybody? How did your Thursday go and your Wednesday? Some of you I saw yesterday if you were in Hardwired, but most of you I haven't seen since Tuesday. So it's good to see you guys. I hope everybody's staying cool. I'm ready for the weekend for sure. All right, let's talk about all the things before we get into our Feel Good Friday show, shall we? So first things first. What is today's day? Today is the 25th. Next week, Hardwired will open for enrollment. So if you are interested in being a Hardwired member, you definitely want to take that opportunity. It only opens for enrollment at the end of and the beginning of each month. So next week, we will be talking more about that. But Patreon, however, is open for enrollment anytime you want. So if you would like to be a Patreon subscriber, for $10 a month, you will get 3 extra projects from me a month. Those are exclusive to Patreon members only. You'll not see those on YouTube or on Facebook. Those are specifically for Patreon members. And I actually have on a necklace that we made for Patreon this week. I made it just for me. But that's what Patreon is. The Patreon projects are all about. We don't do hard projects there. It is not advanced. It is just using our basic skills to create some beautiful pieces of jewelry using things that we already have in our stash. And I use it as an opportunity to use up things that I have that are just sitting around. Some of my very favorite things that I bought, but then never really did anything with because I loved them, but just didn't know how to use them. So I encourage you to do the same thing. And so far, we have over 500 members on Patreon, and we're just growing by leaps and bounds. So if you'd love to be a part of that, I would love for you to be a part of that as well. A lot of times people ask, do you have access to previous projects when you sign up right now? Yes, you do. You do have access to the entire library of Patreon projects whenever you sign up. So that's also a nice little bonus. Verna, it is $10. For $10, you get extra 3 projects from me a month. Sometimes it's 4, but for the most part, it's 3 projects. And again, those are exclusive to Patreon only. You don't see those anywhere else. They're also working on some new features for Patreon. So we may be able in the very near future to go live there, which would be fantastic. So just keep your eyes and ears open. Things are always changing around here, always mixing things up. So, all right, now it is Feel Good Friday, my very favorite day of the week, and I hope it is one of your favorites as well. Here on Feel Good Friday shows, we focus on fun and easy instant gratification jewelry. Everything that you see in today's show is available for purchase in kit form over in my Etsy shop. My team is here in the comment section, dropping links to each one of the items that you see to make it really easy for you to shop. However, if you would like to just head over to my Etsy shop at any time and browse, you're going to find the kits from today's show as well as kits from previous Feel Good Friday shows and finished pieces of jewelry. So definitely take advantage of the kits from previous shows because not everything sells out. So you never know what you might find when you head over to the Etsy shop and just kind of prowl around to see what you can find, right? All right, so we're going to get started with our Feel Good Friday today. But before we do that, I want to remind you to set your reminders for 4 p.m. Eastern. This afternoon, I will be over on artbeads.com/live with a personal shopper show. You guys have so many beady goodies to show you. I can't wait. So definitely set your reminders for that. If you can join me, I would love to have you over there. All right, we're going to get into it. So the first thing that we are going to do today, I have, I have 3 earrings party kits for you guys and 4 projects that have all of the piecey parts. Okay, so we're going to start out with the earrings parties. If you're unfamiliar with the earrings party, they are pairs of beads usually with a gemstone bead being the focal. And you can make 6 pairs of earrings or more with the beads that are included. So I'm going to turn you around. I'm going to show you those, and then we're going to get into the other projects. So let me turn you around here. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at the one that I think has already sold out, and that's okay because you can still see it just in case, because sometimes things happen, you know. All right, so this one was our blue Jade earrings party kit. And again, remember, up to 6 pairs of earrings or more. So they are put together in pairs. Pairs of these little connectors, some daisy spacers, bead caps, some metal beads. Always try to include some metal elements. All right, so we have some beautiful marbled jade. We have some blue quartz. We have some just sky blue jade. There are some fossil beads here. There are Swarovski crystals. So bicones and cubes, check fire polish, and some little check melons. All right. So you can see, you can make up to 6 pairs of earrings, and these can be whatever you want them to be, right? I mean, it's up to you. That's the fun part of these, is that you can be the designer. You can come up with whatever you want. I just give you a little bit of inspiration. There's so many different possibilities, and you can, of course, include beads from your own stash. If you don't want to make earrings out of these, you can turn them into whatever you want. You can make bracelets out of them, use them in necklaces. Totally up to you. I think those, just like that, just like the tiniest, are so, so cute. These would be fun with, like, I don't know, maybe the metal on the top. Fossil beads are my favorite. They're so pretty. They're so, so pretty. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so this one was the blue Jade. And as far as I know, this one is sold out already. Check back. You never know what might happen. Sometimes people make mistakes when they purchase. Other times they're gone for good, or I can restock them. So definitely check back. All right, I'm going to move on to the next one. The next one is my personal favorite. I love, love, love this one. So I thought I had a bead stuck to me. I did not. All right, this one is the Earrings Party Jasper Ovals. I am so in love with this color palette. It's this muted blue green. There are Swarovski cubes, Swarovski bicones. There are Mayfinite beads. There are some agate beads in here and Amazonite. The color palette is so pretty. So you have these large ovals, which I think are fabulous. Make little earrings out of those. Not little, big for sure. Got a couple of bead caps, some daisy spacers, some metal beads. The Mayfinite I absolutely adore. It's so pretty. Couple of agate beads, some more Swarovski, some Amazonite. These little metallic druck beads are super pretty. There's some in like a cantaloupe green color as well. They're very, very pretty. So you could do little cubes, some Amazonite, little bicone on the top. So pretty. So, so pretty. I think they're a lot of fun. And this, like I said, this color palette is really, really nice. So again, these are very similar to the, remember when we used to do the kits that didn't have the findings? It was just the beads. It's very similar to this, but I did this with earrings in mind. So everything is in a pair or 4, sometimes more. It just kind of depends. But I wanted to be sure that when you are creating with these, if you were going to create earrings, that you were going to absolutely have pairs of everything. So that's definitely the idea here. So, so pretty. Thank you, Tina. All right, moving on to the last of the earrings party beads. All right, I'm going to set this one up here. This one is new Jade. Now, I've done a Jade one before and it sold out immediately. So fortunately, I have more Jade beads. I have tons and tons of Jade in this beautiful new Jade color. So I put together another Jade one, and this one is extra, extra full. So this one has the Jade leaf beads that are really cool. There's some more of the Jade coin beads, which I love. There are these faceted Jade cylinders, which are very pretty. I like that color. It's like a green yellow. There's some Jade nuggets. We have some check glass drops. We also have a lot of other things here. So we have some check glass rondelles. There's lots of small beads in this one, which makes this one a whole lot of fun. There are these guys, which I kind of love, the little metal beads with the little grooves in them. I think those are really cool. There are Swarovski rondelles and Swarovski bicones in this one. So you've got a couple of different colors of the bicones, and then this soft green for the rondelles. There are some drucks in here in like a pearl color and a soft green. Such a pretty one. Really, really love this one. The last time I did one in Jade, it sold out. So I'm hoping that you guys will love this one as well. Now, if you bought the first one, you can actually mix them with this one and come up with some really fun designs. So I think you are definitely on the right track creating designs with just this one, but mixing two of them together, oh my goodness, you can have all kinds of fun stuff. So really, really pretty. Lots of possibilities with this one, I think. So pretty. I do love the crystal bicones that are included with this one. The color is really cool. So, all righty. Carol says, is this a kit? Yes, it is one of our earrings party kits. I had 3 in the show today, only 2. One of them sold out already before the live even started. But this one is the new Jade earrings party. So it is a kit. Everything here, it's all in pairs to make it easy for you to create 6 pairs of earrings or more. All right. Moving on. All right, so now we're going to move into the bracelets and necklaces, and these are the kits that have all the goodies that go with them. So the first one that we're going to look at comes in 3 different colorways. We've actually done a very similar project to this. I'm going to show you how to get it started and then how to finish it. So I'm going to show you what the 3 colorways are. So this one is peach. These are bracelets, by the way. So this one is in peach, which is really, really pretty. I love the metallic versus the shimmery. This one has like a soft shimmer to it. So pretty. And the little melons. All right. This one is the rose color. It's coming across very purple on camera. It's not. I mean, it is a little on the purple side, but this is definitely rose colored in person. And then the other color option is in green. These are so pretty. So I'm going to show you how to get these started and how to finish these. They're super simple to do, but it takes a minute. So we're not going to do the entire thing. I am just going to show you, as I mentioned, how to get it started and then how to finish it off. This one is a work in progress, so we're going to work on this one, but I want to show you how to get started first. So the first thing that you are going to do is in your kit, you are going to find that you have some metal beads. You're going to have 2 metal beads, okay? And what you're going to do with your 2 metal beads, one goes on each end. But the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to add your jump rings to these. So we're going to take one of our jump rings and we're going to open that up. Oops. And you're going to slide the metal bead on, and then you're going to close the jump ring back. Okay. And you're going to do that with both of them. Okay. So you've got 2 of these. All right. Now your stringing material for this one is Supple Max, which is a Beadalon product. It is very similar to fishing line. However, it is specifically designed for jewelry making. So we never use this in a kit, and I have so much of it. So I was really excited to have this project where I could use this. All right. So what you're going to do is you are going to take your piece of Supple Max. You're going to bring the 2 ends together. Okay. And that way you've got the middle. You're going to thread your bead with your jump ring on and let that fall to the middle. So again, keep your ends together. All right. So that is at the end. All right. So we're going to pick up. We're using our 2 ends like needles. Okay. So you're going to pick up a green check fire polish on both strands, and you're going to drop those down. Okay. Then you're going to pick up a green druck bead on both strands and drop those down. Okay. Then you are going to take one of your small beads. In this case, it is a melon. And you are going to take your cord, your Supple Max, through that bead in opposite directions. So you're just crisscrossing your cord inside that bead, and then you're going to pull that down. See how that brings this together? All right. Then you're going to pick up another druck bead and a fire polish on one, a druck bead and a fire polish on the other. And then with your melon, which I have lost, you're going to crisscross and take your cords through those in opposite directions again. So you can see you start out with just the end of one, right? So we start out with just the check fire polish, but you're building these little flowers, right? So you crisscross each one of your ends through your little melon bead. Easy peasy, okay? And you're going to go all the way down your bracelet. And then when we get to the end, I'm going to show you. Oh my gosh, Kim, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to show you how to finish this off. Happy birthday to you too, Kim. All right, so you can see I'm ready to crisscross. So we'll take our melon. Oops. And crisscross our 2 beads, or our 2 cords in the melon. Bring that down. Okay. And then we're going to do one more set. So that's going to be a druck bead on each side. Oops. Okay. And then a fire polish on each side. And now that it is at the end, instead of taking our wires, or our cords rather, in opposite directions through a melon to finish this off, we are going to take it through the other one of our metal beads that has the jump ring. So take your cords in opposite directions through your jump ring, or through your metal bead that has your jump ring. Okay. And then you're going to pull that down. All right. Now, basically, to finish this off, we're just going to create some knots, but I do reinforce just a little bit before I do that. So I'm going to take my right cord and I'm going to go down through a bead. Right next to it. And I'm going to take my left cord and I'm going to go through that bead next to it. So now I'm kind of in between beads and I'm just going to tie a knot. Okay. So I'm going to take my cord and I'm going to take it between the beads to make a loop, which is just like a half hitch knot. Okay. And then I'm going to pull. And I'm going to pull that knot, whoops, into my cord right there. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm taking my cord between the two beads, creating a half hitch knot, pull all that down. Okay, and then I'm going to go through another bead because I don't want that to be where I cut my cord, right at the knot, if I can avoid it. So go through the next bead and pull. Kind of made mine a little loose accidentally. Right, and then if you can go through your melon bead again, great. You may not be able to. It's just if you can possibly go through your metal bead. But now that you've been through another bead, you can actually come in here and you can trim. So you're going to trim. If you want to go through a couple more beads and tie a couple more knots just for the extra security, then that's cool. But then you're going to take your jump rings that you have left, and on one side, you're going to do an additional 2 jump rings, maybe 3, just kind of depends. And then on the other side, use as many jump rings as you want for this to kind of adjust the size. Then you're going to do a jump ring and your clasp. And that's it. Super easy to put together, and they're so, so pretty. So we have the green, which has a little AB finish to it. So it's got a little flash. There's the peach, and then the rose colored one. So pretty. So, so pretty. Love them. Love them. Love them. All right. Moving on to the next. So let me clean up my mess here because this cord, it's invisible, but it ends up on everything. So, all right, moving on to the next bracelet. So our next bracelet is a macrame piece. Now this one you're going to do a little bit different than what you may be used to. I'm going to show it to you because I have the finished one right here. Because we're not going to do the full thing, but I am going to show you how to get it started, and we'll talk about how to finish it off. So this one is, the focal is a big, huge carnelian round bead. So beautiful. Love, love, love. The rest of this is square knots. So if you are a fan of the square knots, this is the carnelian bead without. Okay. Square knots and metal beads. And then adjustable. Okay. So with this bracelet, I kind of start in the middle, which is a little bit different than what I would normally do with a macrame project. So I'm going to show you how to get it started. Okay. And then you're kind of on your own for doing the adjustable clasp part. However, you can always refer back to many, many, many of our projects that we've done where we've done the adjustable clasp. So I don't think that you're going to have any problems finding what you need as far as instructions for that. But so I'm going to take 2 pieces of cord. You've got 4 pieces of cord in your kit. I'm going to take 2 of those, and I'm going to thread on my carnelian bead. I'm going to thread on a bead cap. I'm going to thread on a crystal spacer. And then a metal bead. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. So I'm going to take the 2 ends on the opposite side for my bead cap. My crystal spacer. And my metal bead. And I'm going to drop all of this down to the center. Danette says she needs the tying station. You do. But you can do this even if you don't have a tying station. So don't feel like you can't do this project and you can't buy this kit if you don't have it. Because you can use a clipboard. You can use a macrame board. You can use painter's tape on your desk. Whatever you've got to secure everything down. Okay, so drop this. This is the focal. Drop this down to the center of your 2 cords. Okay, and just figure out where that center is. And then we're going to start from the center and work outwards. So I'm actually going to attach the top of this to the tying station. I'm just going to slide my 2 cords on one side, tighten that down, slide my beads up. And then before I do any macrame here, I'm also going to thread on an additional 4 metal beads. Okay, I'm not going to thread all of them on, but I am going to thread on at least 1 more. So you're going to thread on 4 metal beads in addition to the one that you have. So you should have 5 metal beads per side. Okay, and then I'm going to secure this down. So everywhere I'm securing things down, painter's tape on your desk will work just as well. Painter's tape is nice because it doesn't leave a sticky residue behind. So, okay, then you're going to take one of your other cords, because you had 4 cords total in your kit. Okay, and you are going to start your macrame at the middle and work your way out. You're going to do one side and then you're going to do the other side. So we're going to take our macrame cord, we're going to go underneath the core, find the middle. Okay, and then you are going to start your square knots. All right. Oof. So P shape on the right, crosses over the core here. First knot is always a little tricky. Left cord crosses over that cord and then goes behind and up through and pull. Okay. Backwards P shape on the left, right cord crosses over, goes behind the core and up through that backwards P shape on the left and pull. And then you're going to slide those up next to your metal bead on your focal section here. Okay, so there's 1. Then you're going to do 4 more knots, remembering that your square knots happen in 2 steps, so you got to do both steps. And again, if you need to see the square knot broken down step by step, I have tons of project videos where we really break the square knot down. I don't think a loom would work necessarily, just because you would struggle to get all of your pieces together, like attached is what I'm saying, without tying really strong knots, and then you'd have to undo those knots to free it from the loom. So might not be your best bet, but never say never. All right, so we're making our square knots here. We've done 4. We're going to do 1 more. All right, so P shape on the right, crosses over the core. Left cord crosses over that out here on the side and then goes behind and up through the P shape and pull. Second step of that, backwards P shape on the left, crosses over the core. Right cord crosses over that and then goes behind and up through your backwards P shape and pull. Now you're going to slide up a bead. Okay, and you're just going to do the same thing around it. So you're just going to do your P shape on the right, pull, your backwards P shape on the left, and pull. Okay, and you're going to go another 5 knots and you're going to work your way down one side of the bracelet. until you have added 1, 2, 3, 4 more beads. Finish with 5 knots. Then you're going to take this off of whatever you have this secured to, okay? And you're going to do the other side. So you're just going to flip this around, and you are going to start with your square knots on this side, okay? So start a new piece with your last piece of cord and go this direction down this side of the bracelet, exactly like you did this one. So we're starting in the middle instead of starting on the ends. When you get to the ends, you are going to do all the steps that we have done in a million other projects to create the adjustable clasp. I'm sorry, you have an extra piece of cord for this part. So 5 pieces of cord. But is that right? You got 5 pieces of cord for this? Everybody needs an extra piece of cord. Or you can use your scrap piece too, because it doesn't take a lot. I've done 10 knots here. Make as many as you need to create your adjustable part of this. Okay. And that's how you're going to finish that off. And as far as your ends are concerned, I just melt. You guys know the drill. I do the melting with a lighter or with a thread burner. So pretty. So pretty. It's simple, but it's beautiful. It's got a great big yummy carnelian gemstone in it. So pretty. All right. Moving on to the next. So let's stick this over here to the side. All right. I've got 2 necklaces for you guys that I hope you're going to like. I know one of them you definitely will like. The other one, I'm not sure. I'm hoping that you will love it. I think it's pretty cool. But you never know. You never know. So the first one is a very similar design to things that we have done in the past. Love this color palette. It's very romantic. This is our Rosy Romance necklace, and all of our findings and components in this one are in antique brass. So let me show you. It is a stringing project with some drops. Okay, and our drops are these gorgeous check glass, fire polish, and some Swarovski bicones in garnet color. Deep red. So pretty. Then we have some more of those beautiful crystal bicones, some seed beads, some druck beads, and some check fire polish. So we're going to do 5 little dangles. 4 of them I've already done. We're going to do one of them together, and then I'm going to show you how to string this up. So you are going to take your head pin, you're going to thread on your check fire polish. Then you are going to thread on your bead cap, and then one of these gorgeous garnet colored Swarovski bicones. Okay. Then you are going to do a wrapped loop. So I'm coming in with my chain nose pliers, bending the wire over the top of the pliers. And then with a round nose pliers, going up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side, and then you're going to do the wire wrapping, in the space between the loop and that bicone. Now don't push it. 3 wire wraps should be plenty. Don't try to push a 4th one because you risk cracking your bicone. Okay, be very, very gentle with your bicones. They're small. You don't want to crack them. Also, be careful when you come in to cut. You don't want to accidentally cut your bicone either. Okay, and then very gently tuck in your end. All right, so you're going to make a total of 5 of these. They're so pretty. All right, then we are going to get our bead stringing wire ready. So we are going to get our, oh, you need to put a jump ring on that. Sorry, totally forgot. Be sure that you add a little 4mm jump ring to your dangle. Okay. All right, so those are ready. I'm going to fish out my crimp beads here from all the rest of the beads, and then I'm going to separate these out for you. I totally forgot, you guys. First 20 orders today get a free gift with purchase. I completely completely forgot. So first 20 orders today, you're going to get a little bag of sparkle, a little bag of love. Completely forgot about that because I don't do it every week. But all right, so here are our beads. We have our Czech Fire Polish, our Czech Drux, our Swarovski / Prestige bicones, and then our little seed beads. Okay, it's going to make things a little bit easier. Okay, so now we are going to get our bead stringing wire ready. So we're going to thread on. Whoops, I'm going to lift up just a little bit. We're going to thread on our crimp and then our wire guardian. Are you guys talking about the tying station? So let me tell you, I have an affiliate link for art beads if you would like to use my affiliate link. At the moment, I think the tying station is sold out, but we have them on reorder and they should be, I'm hoping by next week because I have upcoming projects for them. Let me pull up the website real quick. Hold on. So I am fairly certain that they haven't been restocked yet. Hold on. But I requested those and the jewel looms. The jewel looms restocked and we're waiting, I think, still on the tying stations. Maybe not. Let's see. Nope, there are 15 in stock at the moment. So there are 15 tying stations in stock on Art Beads. If you want to grab those from Art Beads and use my affiliate link, you absolutely can. You don't have to. And we will be restocking those very, very soon with more. Because I literally just talked to Meredith. We had a beetle on order. All right, now I'm going to crimp. Placing that in the back notch of the crimper tool, turning it sideways, putting that into the front notch. And then we are going to trim off the excess. And we are going to string a little pattern here. I'm going to show it to you. All right, so on the ends, I always do a little different on the ends. So we're going to do 2 bicones. Using the affiliate link is really easy. All you do is just click the link and shop like normal. And the affiliate link basically just gives me a little credit for the sale. It lets Art Beads know that you came to them through me, and I get a small commission off of whatever sales you make or you purchase. All right, 2 bicones, a seed bead. Then we're doing a bicone. This is where the actual pattern starts. So we're doing a bicone, a druck, a seed bead, a fire polish, a seed bead, a druck, and a bicone. All right, I'm going to move my hands. So I'm going to drop this down so you can see. Okay. So the actual pattern minus the 2 bicones on the end. Seed bead, bicone, druck. Seed bead, check, seed bead, druck, bicone. Okay, that's the pattern. We're going to do seed bead. And then we're going to thread on one of our dangles. Okay. Bicone. Druck. Seed bead. Fire polish. I hope so. I hope this one sells out. And then druck and bicone. And another seed bead. All right, so your jump ring is going to sit on top of the seed bead, so it keeps it away from the bead stringing wire. Okay, and we are just going to continue. So we're going to thread on another of our dangles. It's going to sit on that seed bead. All right, then bicone, druck, seed bead, fire polish. Okay. Seed bead, druck, bicone, seed bead, and then another dangle. And you're just going to continue until you have all the dangles put on, and then we're going to crimp. You can see the color palette is so beautiful. And if you're looking forward to fall jewelry and fall, you know, fashion and things, this color palette is going to be perfect for the upcoming cooler months, which I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to because it is hot. Very, very hot. All right, so we're just going to keep stringing. We're almost to the end. Okay. So we have one more dangle to go. And then we will add the chain to this after we crimp. This is such a pretty, pretty neck. Yes, Carol says Christmas necklace. I definitely think this would be a beautiful necklace to wear at Christmas. It's just a really nice color palette. And for Christmas, it's nice because it's not over the top Christmas, right? I mean, you can get away with wearing it for other things as well, but it definitely has that deep, yummy red. All right, last angle, and then we're going to finish off our pattern and add our two little bicones at the end. So, bicone. God, pretty. So nice. So nice. Druck. Seed bead. Fire polish. Seed bead. Druck. Bicone. Seed bead, and then we're finishing off with two bicones because that's what we started with. All right. Pretty. It's really, really pretty. Love that. All right, we're going to crimp it, and then we're going to add some chain to it, and this rather, will be done. So we're going to thread on our crimp bead. Ooh, Carol, I like your train of thought with matching bracelet and earrings. I got you covered. I can definitely put together a matching bracelet and maybe some earrings for next week. Let me make the note. Matching, because I forgot last time you guys asked for something, and I forgot. Rosy romance. Okay. So now we're going to go down through our wire guardian and down through our crimp. All right. Make sure your wires are not crisscrossing. They're running side by side inside that crimp. You're going to place that into the back notch of your crimper tool. Give that a squeeze. Turn it sideways, put it in the front notch. Give that a squeeze. And then you're going to trim off the excess. All right. And we are ready to add our chain. So you've got your chain in your kit. You're going to cut it into your 2 pieces. And then you are going to add your hardware to the ends and your jump rings to attach it to your wire guardians on either side. I've done a lot of crimping. And when we went to down to Clearwater to film those episodes of the show that we did, I had to do the crimping over and over and over and over and over, and they had to get in as close as they possibly could with the camera. So yeah, I've had some very stressful crimping situations, but I find that for the most part it's pretty easy to do just because I've done it so much. But that was high stress crimping. It's very high stress crimping. All right, so there is our beautiful Rosy Romance necklace. I hope you guys love this one. I'll show it to you on the bust at the end. But before we do that, I've got one more necklace to show you. All right. Okay, so this one, that is awesome. Listen, out of our 237 people that are watching right now, you know, one of the very best ways that you can show your love and support is by hitting that like button. It only takes one click. You just hit that thumbs up, and it goes a long way towards helping this whole community, believe it or not. Because these videos and the kits that I put together and the videos are what helps keep the lights on here and helps to keep me coming back to do projects for you guys. So hitting that like button is very, very helpful, and it only takes just a second. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. I highly, highly recommend that you help out that way as well. Subscribing keeps you in the know of all the things that are going on, because as you know, now I'm only streaming to YouTube. I don't stream to Facebook anymore. So growing the YouTube channel is top priority, and in the future I will be doing extra more things here on YouTube. I'm actually working on getting a new setup going, so you're going to be seeing even more things coming your way very, very soon. So you definitely want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that of course only takes a click. All right, so I'm going to show you guys this necklace, which I think is very, very pretty. I hope that you guys will agree. So we're going to do stringing. I've already done the stringing on one side, and we're going to do the stringing part on the other side. We're using these beautiful jet double AB beads, which I adore, because you wouldn't know that is a jet bead if I didn't tell you. Meaning jet is actually black in check glass. So it's a black check glass fire polish, but it has the double AB. So the AB wraps all the way around the bead, so you don't see any of the black. Instead, what you see is this beautiful flash of purple, green, blue, and a little bit of like a rosy and gold color. So I'm going to show you the crimping, or I'm going to show you the stringing part of this. We're going to do both sides. And then, of course, we have a little dangle section here in the front. I'm going to show you what that's going to be. We're going to use some matching tube beads, which on camera they look black, but they match these guys. I'm going to do 3 of these in the middle, and we're going to have little dangles hanging. Right, and we're going to put one of the dangles together. I know it doesn't look like much here at first, but take my word for it, it's going to be beautiful. Okay, and then we're going to string the other side of this. So I think the first thing that we should do is do the little wire wrapping to get that part out of the way, and then we'll string up the rest. So each one of your little tube beads is going to go onto an eye pin. So you're just going to thread those on to an eye pin. And then you're just going to do a simple loop. So I'm grabbing the wire where it exits the bead. I give that a bend, Then I'm going to come in with my cutter tool, trim, leave myself about 1/4 of an inch of wire, and then I'm going to use my round nose pliers. Oops. Grab and roll back to create my simple loops. So you've got simple loops on both sides, and you're going to do that with all 3 of the tube beads. Then for your dangle, you're going to take a head pin, and you are going to thread on your check fire polish, and you're going to do a wrapped loop, grabbing the wire where it exits the bead, bend the wire over the top, coming in with our round nose pliers, going up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side, and then wire wrap in that space. Come in with your cutter and trim off. All right. Then you're going to take another eye pin. I'm not sure, Danette. I'm not real sure what the length is on them. They're extra long, that's for sure. I have no idea what the length is on those. I am not sure. All right, so we're going to add an eye pin. And then we're going to add another check fire polish in this gorgeous teal with that AB finish. And we're going to do a simple loop on this. So grab the wire, bend, come in with our cutter, trim, round nose pliers coming in, roll back our loop, and then I'm going to actually open that loop with a twist and thread on another eye pin, twist to close that back, thread on our smallest check fire polish, and then we're going to do another simple loop. Thank you, Stacy. I hope everybody loves this necklace. The colors are so pretty. All right, simple loop on that. All right, so those are your little dangles. You're going to make 4 of those total. Let me raise you guys up just a little bit. That'll also kind of help you to see where this is going. So we're going to link all those together with jump rings, but we're going to wait to put all of that together until we get the stringing part of this done. So I'm going to actually move this stuff out of the way. And we are going to focus on our stringing. So we're going to take our bead stringing wire. We're going to thread on our crimp. Oh, it's happened, Julie. I've messed up more than my fair share of crimps. But listen, the trick to crimps, there's a couple of things. Number 1 is obviously going to be your crimp bead itself. I use crimp tubes over crimp beads because they have more surface area. So I have more to crimp than just a crimp bead. The little beads for me, I really struggle getting those to look nice. So the tube is like my secret sauce. But then the second thing is a really good crimper tool. And if your crimps are looking a little wonky, it might be that it's time to upgrade and repurchase your crimper tool, because the crimper tools are just like your pliers. After you use them for a while, they can get loose, they can get wonky, they can get to where they don't meet up correctly. So definitely inspect your tool really, really closely. And if it is not lining up correctly, if it looks a little off, it's probably time to replace it. And for me personally, I've tried every crimp tool on the planet. The standard crimper tool is where it's at. I don't care what anybody else says. The standard crimper tool is the one to use. Everything else is crushing your crimp. I'm just saying. So your magical crimpers, your what are the other ones? There are so many, because I don't want to just call that one out. That's not fair. There are other crimper tools where it's just like round your crimp and turn it into a bead, or make your crimp look like a little pillow or whatever. Well, listen, that's all cosmetic and that's great. And if you can get those to work, that's fine. But you are still crushing the nylon coating that is on the wire that is holding all those strands together. Because I don't know if you realize it or not, but that's 49 strands of steel that has been twisted together and then coated with nylon to keep it together. And if you are doing anything other than the standard crimping two-step technique to make sure that your wires are being protected, you are essentially creating a weak spot in your bead stringing wire by crushing it and wearing away that nylon coating. And eventually it's going to break. It might look pretty and it might last you for a few months, but eventually it's going to break because you have created a weak spot. So I'm just saying, you guys will never see me use a different crimper tool. And I've tried them all. I've tried them all. But the secret to a piece of jewelry that will last a lifetime and will crimp better than anything else is just the standard, which is nice because they're not expensive. You don't have to buy a fancy crimper tool. You just need to practice your technique because it's tried and true for a reason. It works. All right, now off my soapbox, I'm going to thread up my strand of beads. So we're just going to copy this one. We're going to start with 3 of the rondelles. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then we're going to thread on a metal bead, a fire polish, a metal bead. Okay, and then we're going to do 3 more of the rondelles. Okay, metal, fire polish, metal, 3 rondelles, don't forget, guys, first 20 orders today gets a little bag of sparkle for free. All right, metal bead. What do I think of French wire? I think French wire is fantastic. If you don't want to use wire guardians and you want to use French wire, it works the exact same way. French wire was actually first before wire guardians. Wire guardians are just based off of the French wire concept in just one little thing that you don't have to pre-cut. But yes, perfect way to protect your stringing materials. The French wire was actually first used in pearl stringing, but is a perfect way to protect your bead stringing wire in just regular stringing projects. So 100% yes. Can't go wrong with the classics. All right, then I'm going to do another 3 of the rondelles. Yeah, don't go cheap on your crimp tubes. Crimp tubes, listen, if you're going to spend your money somewhere, spend it on your crimp tubes for sure. It is 100% what Jackie said. It's what holds your project together. So you want to be sure that you're doing everything right when it comes to that. All right, so there is our little pattern for the front. Now I changed things up a little bit just to create a little bit of length. So now instead of 3 of the rondelles, we're doing 6, and we're doing 1, 2, 3 sections of 6. This is just going to create some length. Plus, this is kind of going around the side of the necklace, so you don't necessarily need the little metal beads to break up the color here. I use the beadle-on ones. Yes, yes, yes. Those are my favorite as far as the silver and the gold. So here's the secret though. So I get the ones in the little containers. I always get the number 2 because that's what works with my bead string and wire. I get the little tubes of them in gold, silver, and in the copper. But the exception to that rule is the antique brass. I have searched the world over for antique brass crimp tubes that are good quality, and not all brass crimp tubes are created equal. The very best ones that I have ever found are the ones that are on Art Beads website. They are top quality. You can see it's because they're not thin. Other brass crimp tubes are just like thin, very thin. They crack, they don't hold correctly. They're just junky. Beadalon doesn't make antique brass crimp tubes, so I get mine from Art Beads. If you need the product number, was right. Oh, it's right here. Just type in find-2366 on the Art Beads website. But for antique brass ones, these are the only ones that I use. Don't use the cheap ones because they will break. Promise you. All right, so I had 6 rondelles, metal bead. I'm going to do another 6. And then a metal bead. And then 6 more. And then to finish this off, we'll finish it off with just a metal bead and 3. Just kind of balanced out the pattern. All right, so finish with 3 rondelles, just like how we started, and then you're going to crimp. Okay, so that's what we've got. And we are going to crimp. And since we're talking about crimping, I'm going to walk you through it. So we're going to thread on our crimp tube, and we're going to thread on our wire guardian, up through the wire guardian, down through the wire guardian, and then down through our crimp. Whoops. All right, now, in case you don't know why we use a wire guardian, I'm going to explain it to you. Okay, so the reason that we use the wire guardian is to protect our wire from the hardware. So the wire sits in the little channel and doesn't touch any metal. So it doesn't touch my jump ring, which would cause abrasion, right? We never want our bead string and wire to touch our hardware, particularly hardware that moves like a jump ring, because it will move, and it will create abrasion that will wear away that nylon coating. So wire guardians guard your wire from any of that happening. And then when you are crimping, you want to make sure that those 2 wires are running parallel inside there. Don't have them crossing over each other, because then when you crimp them and you bring that little tooth down, it's going to crush those wires. So you want to be sure that they're running parallel, one on one side and one on the other side. You're going to place this into the back notch of your crimper tool, making sure those wires are separated. And then when you squeeze, you can see how it further separates. So the tooth comes down and it further separates and puts 1 wire on the wall on the left and 1 wire on the wall on the right in that crimp tube. So they are no longer touching each other, and a little piece of metal has come down to further separate those out. Okay, you're going to look at it because you can really see the groove that is separating out those 2 wires. One on one side, one on the other side. They are protected by the metal in the middle. Then you're going to put that into the front notch of your crimper tool, and you're going to turn it sideways and give that a squeeze. That's just going to make it more compact. So it brings those two together, but they're still separated with that metal between them. So it's just like what Wanda said. First you make a burrito and then you make a taco. That is exactly what you do. And I find that it is so much easier to do this with a crimp tube than a bead. The beads for me just are not big enough. They're just not big enough surface area wise. All right. And then if you've crimped properly, you're going to trim. You're going to trim off your excess wire because you don't need it. You don't need it. Taking your bead stringing wire and threading it through 6, 7, 8, your entire design, again, people think that that is reinforcing your design and protecting it from breakage. It's really not. It's really not. You're just wasting materials, because if you have crimped properly, you don't need all that extra bead stringing wire. Plus, it's not really protecting anything. So just keep all that in mind. All right. Now we are going to lay this out. Okay, this is where we're going. And we're going to put these little guys in the middle, and we're going to hang our dangles from them. So I'm going to show you. We're going to use some little 4mm jump rings to do that. All right. So we're going to take a 4mm jump ring, open. We're going to attach that to one of our wire guardians on one side, and then we are going to thread on a dangle. Actually, thread it on this direction. Okay. Then we are going to thread on another one of our first tube bead, rather, not another one, our first one. And we're going to close that back. Okay. So that's what you've got so far. Take another jump ring. Attach that to the tube bead before you close the jump ring. Thread on another dangle. Thread on another tube bead. Whoops. Oh no. Close. Okay. Second or third jump ring goes onto our tube bead. Dangle. Last tube bead, close that back. And then one more. Goes onto the tube. Add our dangle to this, and then attach this to the wire guardian on the other side. Close that back. And now it's so pretty. It's so, so pretty. Beautiful colors. When you see these beads in person, they're absolutely stunning. They really, really are. They're looking very, very dark on camera, but in person, they are like the most beautiful teal and purple shift. So, so pretty. And then the only thing you have left to do is just put your hardware on the back. All right, so all right, and this is it, guys. I'm going to show you everything one more time. We'll put the necklaces on the bust, and then I will let you guys go. I will be back at 4 p.m. Eastern time over on artbeads.com/live for a fun personal shopper show. Cannot wait for that. I have lots of fun items that I found on the Artbeads website. All right, what happened to the bracelets that I had? There they are. All right, I'm going to turn you guys around real quick. All right. Oops, sorry. Making you dizzy. Apologize for that. All right, so let's take a look at our two necklaces. So our first necklace was our Rosy Romance necklace. Absolutely beautiful. And I love antique brass. Anything with antique brass to me is so, so pretty. And I love to mix it with like those deep colors like that. So pretty. Very, very nice. right, our other necklace was the one that we just put together. This one is so fun. This one right here. So it looks so good on the mat. It's like, I don't know. In the picture that I took for Etsy, I was like, people are not going to understand how cool this necklace is. You have to see it on to get it. Gravity has to do what gravity does in order for this one to come across the way that it should. It's so, so pretty. And it hangs really, really nicely. All right. Then we are going to take a look at our bracelets. So we had our macrame bracelet with our gorgeous carnelian bead in the center. It's got a little sparkle to it, adjustable clasp on it so that you can get a lot of different sizes and then make it to fit. Love that. And then we had our other bracelet sets in 3 different colors. We had the peach, which is coming across really orange in this direction, green, and the rose color. So, so pretty. Again, all for purchase as kits in my Etsy shop, as well as the earrings party kits. One of the earrings party kits already sold out. There are still 2 more available, the Jasper ovals and the new Jade earrings kits, where you can make 6 pairs of earrings or more out of those. So hope you guys have enjoyed today's Feel Good Friday show. I saw a question real quick I'm going to address because this is an interesting question. Shelly says, what length do you make necklaces to sell? So it really kind of depends, because there are industry standards, of course, but it depends on what the necklace is going to be. So a choker length necklace is normally 16 or 17 inches long. But I always tend to put an extension chain on those because not everybody's necks are the same width, right? And so 16 inches might be a little short for some people, and it might be really long for other people. So putting the extension chain on there makes a huge difference. A standard necklace, like what I have on right now, 18 inches. Then the next step up is 20 inches, which is usually like your Y necklaces are like 20. Anything above 20 is considered opera length, and those are really, really long layerable pieces, or just really long single strands. But a standard, just like fits everybody kind of necklace length is usually 18 inches. So that's the sweet spot, but it really just depends on where you want that to fall. So if you've got a focal, you don't want to make a 20-inch necklace with a focal that's going to fall way below this area here. So I hope that helps. All right, friends, that is it for me. I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's Feel Good Friday show. Thank you to everybody who made purchases. Don't forget, first 20 orders are going to get a little bag of sparkle for free. What else do I need to tell you guys? I felt like, oh, I know what it is. Tuesday of next week, we are going to revisit the bargain bead box, because you'll remember on Tuesday of this week, we did design on the fly with bargain bead box. This coming Tuesday, we're going to do a full finished piece. So we're going to see some more of that bargain bead box. And that is at 1 p.m. Eastern, our regular time on Tuesdays. Later, I will be over on artbeads.com/live at 4 p.m. Eastern. So set your reminders for that. If I don't see you there, have an amazing weekend, and I will see you guys soon. I love you. Mwah. Bye.